everybody, Sergey's back doing a review. Didn't know what to do today. And, you know, like a law of fate, something suddenly fell out of the collection. And looking at it, I actually thought, this would be a nice little review. Cybertron Scrapmetal. Now, why am I saying this guy's interesting? For one thing, Scrapmetal isn't the name of the character. It's the name of the actual, like, subspecies they are. They appeared in Cybertron when the Cybertron defense team actually returns back to Cybertron and finds out that these little guys have pretty much infested all of Cybertron, with all the Cybertronians being evacuated. Now, the origin of the Scrapmetal, according to their bio anyway, is that, like in Armada, Dead End, his small minicon partner, they were actually part of his, basically, immune system. They were the external immune system designed to basically destroy parasites. Well, in Unicron's comparison, a transformer or any other sentient being that was stupid enough to walk on his surface. Now, the Scrapmetals, however, they were a part of his internal immune system. And they basically had three functions, which was repair, consume any damaged components, and neutralize any internal threats. When of course Unicron got destroyed over Cybertron in Energon, these little guys basically fell through the wreckage and arrived on Cybertron. Because Primus is Cybertron, and basically Primus is, in their storyline anyway, is the brother of Unicron. The Scrapmetals basically believe that they've basically landed. They're basically still on Unicron, so basically they're just performing their basic functions. And without any Cybertronians actually on Cybertron, they know no better. So when the Cybertron defense team arrive, that is why they are so hostile. They don't have individual personalities per se. I like to think of these guys as, if anyone is familiar with SG-1 universe, as sort of like the Transformers equivalent of a replicator. Because basically this is all their basic function, is to eat, replicate, destroy intruders. They did come in three colors, yellow, blue, and red. And even though all of them are pre-programmed with the basic functions, each color actually determines their primary function out of their basically three codes. Red, of course, being to neutralize enemy threats. Yellow is to repair, and blue is to consume. Individually, a Scrapmetal is not a threat to anyone. Well, obviously to a human, but to a basic Cybertronian, Autobot, or Decepticon, no threat at all. These guys' main threat is that they come in waves of, before you know it, there can be hundreds of these things attacking. Okay, well, now that I've blabbed on about his little bio, onto the toy itself. Now, he was a scout class. Even though he does have a Decepticon logo, I just want to note he isn't officially listed as a Decepticon. They did release this mold in all three of its colors, and the Japanese, the lucky sods, managed to actually, they got a limited edition version which is has a human face, because Cody actually takes a Scrapmetal in the show anyway, and basically rebuilds it into being his power suit. So Japanese got something nicer than us again. But like I said, this is a scout class, and I really, really, really do like this figure. This is him in his alt mode. I mean, I don't know why, but I kind of think of this guy as a sort of ant. He just gives off that shape. He's got an actual cockpit, but considering this guy was never intended for an Earth-based form, or any basic form for that matter, I actually do like it. It's sort of like it's got a machine look, but it's also got a very animal look. You know, this guy would look pretty okay in Beast Wars, in my opinion, or perhaps Beast Machines to be more exact. He has 4 independent limbs which have crazy articulation. You can put this, you know, you can put him, just fiddle about, put him with like high legs on, or there's pretty much, you know, I have a few of these guys because I managed to get them cheap, and it's, you know, I always have them like either crawling up shelves or crawling over other Transformers and stuff like that, and it really is nice. His primary weapon in this mode is, of course, this big ass cannon, which will do a full 360. Rotates down, and in the show when they fired it, it actually had a huge recoil because it used to actually shoot up like this. And in fact, it was a red one that actually fires on, makes the stupid idea of firing on Megatron. Yeah, he lived for all of 10 seconds after that. But very, very nice. To transform this guy, quite ingenious actually. Well, not ultra ingenious, but I really do like it. First, you want to fold these sections apart, unpeg, and then you want to unpeg the little shieldy bit, and then you're. I actually haven't transformed this guy in a while. Wait, am I doing this? Yep. Sorry. Split the back apart. Next, rotate this whole section, and this will actually peg in. Split the front fully apart now, and push this up, and this will reveal the head. Oh, and you can already see lovely light piping. And push them back together. Bring out his feet. Rotate these legs down and flip these bits up, and these will reveal his hands. And that is Scrapmetal in robot mode. And as you can see, quite nice. And one thing I especially like is they've given him some actually nice little back detailing running all through him. You know, he really has a really nice look to him. And also, his face is very much like a little homage to the Insecticons, and considering the Insecticons have multiples of themselves, and so does this guy, it's actually quite fitting. Now, in Japan, this guy was known as Rumble, and the reason he was called Rumble is if we get these bits and fold them down, he actually gets pile drivers. So this figure's sort of like a homage of 2 different things, but each one works quite well. Despite having this huge hoofing cannon, he is a very stable character, and because of what I showed you in his ult mode, he has, again, ridiculous amount of articulation. You can get this in so many cool little poses. You know, it really is nice. And, you know, his cyber key or force chip gimmick, you don't actually need, but basically you slot it in there, and this happens. I know I'm forcing the mechanism, but it's only a tiny little clip. He gets his huge blade, which in his ult mode sort of looks like it could have been like a repair tool or something like that. In robot mode, I will admit it is look pretty silly, but you can just pull this out quite easily. It isn't actually glued in; it's only pegged in. And once you've done that, he can actually hold it in his hand, so we can actually have a small machete. I don't know if that's intentional, but if it is, it's actually a nice little touch to this thing. These guys ain't expensive to buy, not by a long shot. I know I keep looking over there again today. I'm still trying to sort out my new setup, and it ain't working too well. Yeah, these guys won't set you back, but I do recommend if you do pick up this guy, get multiples. You know, They were £4. I got loads of these guys. I have 7 in total, which is quite cool because I did at a time have a little diorama set up on a shelf of the Cybertron defense team fighting hordes of these things. It did look pretty cool. Okay, that's pretty much all I've got to say on the guy. So yeah, if you do see him about, you'll definitely pick him up off eBay for a few quid. Pick him up. So this has been the Scrapmetals, and Sir J's saying have a good day, have a good evening, whatever the time is. Make sure you're having a good one, and I'll catch you later.